Good afternoon. This is Francesco Abbruzzino with the Venice Scoop, bringing you the latest news for Venice, Northport, and Englewood in the rest of the South County, Sarasota, South County area. We've got a few things on the news agenda today, so why don't we hop right into it. First things first, let's start off with one of our sponsors, which is helping me to do this newscast, to the interviews. I finally got a decent camera, I think. So we're going to just go ahead and start the interviews back up in the cooking operations. This goes out to Island Photographics Inc.com. They are located at 941-485-0699 over on West Venice Avenue. They're doing good things with portraits for weddings, beaches, family, children portraits, passport, domestic and foreign, all kinds of good things. They also have a video production company, website development. As you can see, many things out there. So give our good friends and our sponsors of today's program, Island Photographics Inc., a call for your next photographic shoot. Okay, our first piece of news out of the county comes to us from the sheriff's office today. They sent out a notification basically asking if anybody's interested in Civics 101. The program is free for anyone living and working within Sarasota County, and it's an excellent opportunity to find out about resources that are available. They only accept 25 applicants on a first-come, first-served basis. So if you're interested, you need to get a hold of them. Right down here is the information. You can visit that website at sggov.net or email them at neighbor@sggov or sgov.net. Okay, our next story is something I received in the mail. It's here in Venice, and you can do it probably in Northport too and stuff. It's with Venice Regional. It's something that I thought was just a really good deal on the pricing, and I always think it's good to practice preventive medicine. As many of you may or may not know, my business, which I generate actual revenue to live on, is in the medical arena. This basically gives you 6 tests for $179, and the value is $2,300. And it checks for clogged arteries and all that stuff. So if you have a high deductible, no insurance, or whatever your financial situation is, you may want to check it out. I think a fan on the page said that she will be going tomorrow, and she'll let us know how it turns out. All right, this next story is about our homeless families, and it's a local plan to address a less visible side of the problem. And the Herald has been talking about it for a couple days now. And they basically went through Margaret's plan stating that 7 out of the 12 of his recommendations for Sarasota County involved in whole or part children and families, especially down in our area of Englewood and Northport. That's why he wanted a local office here so that they could support and primarily be geared towards helping homeless families. They had a location in Englewood he was interested in, and the people that lived next to it weren't too excited, so they took that off the list. I have no idea where the new one would be for our area. According to the doctor at the presentation I was at, he's focused more on the Northport, Englewood area. So what he states is that a lot of the homelessness starts in Venice. People would like to live in Venice. They get evicted out of their house, or they can't afford the rent, and they migrate down towards Northport and Lemon Bay. Basically, his second and third recommendations directly involve families. He proposes creating emergency portals for families with children. That's what I was just mentioning. Also, he described a clock intake service, stabilizing emergency housing, master case management, and referral services. Basically, what he was saying is that a lot of times what happens is a lot of these situations happen after 5 o'clock. The police will come upon it, and they have to think, okay, what do I got to do? The usual homeless shelter or administrations or companies are closed, so they have to make calls and try to find the people someplace to go. Well, they're thinking, hey, why aren't you open 24 hours or open a lot later? Why aren't you open on weekends, weekend nights, where a lot of times this happens? And this is all part of Morbert's plan. He's got like 7 or 8, well, like he said, 12 different steps or processes to go through, with the biggest focus being on families. So that's a good thing. This next article is something that and it's out of the Sarasota Herald by Del White. It's something that anybody that's been on the Venice Scoop for a while knows that I've been writing about and blogging about a lot. and it's the water and the contamination issues. And I don't know who was around 17, 18 years ago. We never had those white pipes that were filtering water from the street runoff into the Gulf. Supposedly they go into the street runoff, they get filtered and cleaned, and then go out into the Gulf. I looked at them. I don't know if I'm buying it. But we never had these problems when I was a kid here in Venice until they put that in. And basically now they're saying with this new process, this David Run Rankin, he's the president of Suncoast Media Group, which owns the Gondo. He basically said, hey, look, with this new process, it's gonna dump more bacteria in the water. It's not gonna work. You did this other process of cleaning it out, and we haven't had any issues since, which is true. The only thing that bugs me about it, and someone's, first of all, I want to preface that I don't know David. He may be a good guy. So one of the fans came on and said, he's a good guy, leave him alone. I wasn't attacking David. I was just stating that he's an influential person in the Venice area. And it's surprising that the first time I've ever heard his name is yesterday with this article. Why? Because they're planning on putting this really huge ditch, which is unsightly for a lot of the people that live there, in front of his area, his neighborhood, his home, and he doesn't like it. It's going to ruin his lovely view of the ocean and waterways. Hey, look, I understand that. I get that. However, I think if people are influential and they have a means to effectively communicate stuff and help the normal Joe, the normal folk, accomplish things within the city, within the county, then they should. This person is the owner of the Suncoast Media Group. He should be out there advocating for a lot more rights and, bringing more value to the table of residents in the area. And that's one of the problems that the Sun has, and why a lot of people don't read them. That's just one of the problems. That's like myself. I have this Facebook with, it reaches out to, I think there's over 20,000 fans. Between the Northport, Englewood, Venice Scoops, I think my reach is close to 200,000 a week. Should I just ignore it and continue to sit by and not help people? Should I not put out threads where people are asking for money because they've fallen on hard times? Or not necessarily money, just help or guidance because other individuals don't like it. No, I should do my civic responsibility, step up, and continue to do this. And it's I think it's my responsibility now, since it's grown to that level, to carry it on and move forward and make it a site that can help the residents of the city. And that's what I feel David should be doing. And it's unfortunate that we're just hearing from him. All right. Enough of me, my diatribe on that one. Let's go over here to the Magician Opens. This is something I blogged about, I don't know, maybe a month ago. It was brought to my attention. I was at Aptivo, the martini bar next to Made in Italy, and having a cafe macchiato, which is like an espresso with milk. And I was talking to a lady, a business owner. She owns a couple businesses locally, and she had mentioned, I think she mentioned it, or another fan came up and mentioned this magic show, which I never heard about. And she was just praising it, saying how great it was. It was just awesome, spectacular, going on and on and on. And I put something out there. Well, the Herald, Shelby Webb, put out this article about the new store and basically their hours and the cost and all that good stuff. Let's see. The next one is the streets. Now, for some reason, I was thinking back to a city council meeting where they were talking about the street issue involving the Golden Lakes and changing the sewer, which is one of the issues. And I didn't realize that it's even more extensive than that. And it's funny because they showed right down here in my street. So basically, and I have it highlighted right here, sometimes you will see green on one side of the street and blue on the other. And what does it mean? And this is a resident, Don Robinson, asking. And it basically means that if a street light with green signs has a green sign, it's maintained by Sarasota County. If it's blue, that street is maintained by the city. Well, basically what's happening is the city said they always thought that it was maintained by them, but for some reason the county had to take care of it. And I'm not sure of the issue there, of the specifics, but bottom line is they came up with a resolution. and there's 11 miles of roadway that are going to be turned over to the city. So we'll see more blue street signs after they're paved and resurfaced and everything, which the county will pick up the tab, which means we will as residents. This people living in Nokomis, South Venice, Englewood, Northport may not like that because basically the city of Venice residents, which is myself, get these nicer roads, and we get to spread that cost out throughout the county versus just the city. And then they're going to pick up some larger roads at the county level and start to maintain those. So that's good information there. All right, that's it for Venice. So let's go ahead over to. Normally I would pop over to Englewood, but there's really no stories out there. I'm trying to get the gist of it. There is a Charlotte Herald out there, or the Englewood Herald. It does a great job of covering stuff, but there's rarely news out there. Whenever I see it, I do distribute it, but I tell you what, crime-free. It looks like news-free out that way. Let's go over to Northport. This is in a couple, and I think the Northport Sun put this out. According to an indictment released on Tuesday, James D. Jagger and Laura Ann Jagger took part in a scheme to help taxpayers, including themselves, obtain fraudulent tax returns from the IRS. They face a couple counts of conspiracy to defraud the IRS, and it looks like they're going to be in big trouble. Collectively, there were 15 returns totaling $2.5 million. So, it sounds like the government's got a good case there, and these two Northport residents better look at their maybe spend the rest of their life behind bars. This is a cool photo. Oops, there he is again. It's an alligator. Yeah, he's on a Christmas barge. Where did I see this? Northport Sun again. It's a lazy river. MHP Christmas tree lighting, and the alligator decided to get up there and just check it out. And the photo's by Ron Dokman, so that's pretty cool. I thought it was unique, and I wanted to throw it up there. For some of you Northport residents, this is our next one. Ron DuPont, who is the editor of the Venice Gondo, he lives up in Northport, and he took this 34-second video of the Northport Poinsettia Parade, which was this last Saturday. I thought, hey, why don't we go ahead and check it out? So let's go ahead and see what it's all about there, the Poinsettia Parade. What a nice float. Look at that. Bubbles. Guy taking a bath. All right, that was great. I love that float. Good job there. I didn't catch the name of the person. It says the bubble float on here, but all right. That's it for our news. Not a lot happening the last couple of days, which is a good thing because it seems like generally when there's news, it's a bad thing. Sometimes it's positive, but a lot of times it's just reporting crime, accidents, issues that have come up out there, and it's rarely positive. So let's go over to the news. John Scalzi was off today as I watched the weather, and this looks like Bob Harrigan up there. It looks like, let's see, Tuesday, we are at a high of 72 today. The same thing basically for tomorrow, 73, a low of 47 tonight. It's going to get hotter. The winds are going to change, bring in some hot air, and basically from Thursday on through Sunday, we're looking at beautiful low 80 temperatures. There is a front that's coming through. Sunday, it looks, according to this, they have it 83, 77 on Monday, so I'm assuming the front will start to come through sometime on Sunday. Right now, the winds are out of the north at 15 knots with a 2 to 4 foot chop. No real waves out there. Water temperature 72. I was out in my wetsuit yesterday, and it was beautiful. You almost didn't even need a wetsuit. High tide 1:30, low tide 5:13, and another high tide at 10:47. So that's your weather. Sports. This is all I could find out there, and this is girls basketball. And basically, they came in and talked about Northport No, this is a different game. Okay, this is the girls basketball. Lauren Chaplin hit a layup and missed a shot by 1.7 seconds remaining in the game to give Booker a 39-38 win over visiting Venice in a girls basketball game. So Venice lost a tough one there by 1 point. That's it for sports. We have a few things coming up on events, okay? And we have the Christmas Carol at the Venice Theater. That starts tomorrow night or Thursday at 7. So that's going to be a good thing. All these are underneath my Venice Scoop page, or they should be. That's generally where I put them to, and I save them. You got the Venice Symphony Sounds of Season Pops at Church of Nazarene. That's at 8 in the morning on Friday. Also Friday, you got a free concert by Swing Tide at 7 p.m. at Centennial Park. What do we have? The Christmas Story at the Center of Hope. I'm not sure. Somebody said it was this guy that drives a Santa motorcycle around that he sponsors this free dinner in the movie. But it's out at Center of Hope on Venice Avenue. If you have time, check it out. Saturday at 5. The YMCA is going to have a kids' night out. They did this last year. It starts at 5. I think it ends at 9. But if you click the link, you'll see. Basically, you can bring your kids there, and they'll take care of them, watch them. They can play basketball, do all that good stuff, and you get to go out, shop for Christmas. Let's see what else is coming up. Kwanzaa's coming up. Maybe shop for that, and then maybe get dinner if you have enough time. Get back and get your kids. So good things there at the YMCA. And then we'll finish up the weekend on Sunday with a Christmas concert at the Gazebo for free at 3 o'clock. So that's great. It's great that they're calling it Christmas because you know how politically correct the city has been on a lot of these things. So there's a lot of events, a lot of good things happening out there in the city. All right, that's basically the news for today. Like I said, an abbreviated segment, not much happening out there. Remember to visit our sponsor, Island Photographics Inc. Without them, we can't keep going on. The newscast, I'm sure, slowly but surely building it up. It's taking a while to get some people on board there. It's really weird. It averages 50, 60 views a day, but sometimes it'll spike up to 200. The cooking shows, those are like over 20,000, so that I need to pursue. And the interviews generally get over, I'd say, about 500. So those are the direction we need to go in. And I might look at some other things that we can do. Basically, with the interviews, that concept is to get out there, interview them, and show what it's all about prior to the event taking place so that we have the information. I hate in the news. A lot of times I hear about it afterwards, and it's like, how come I didn't know about this? But that's it. So, for Francesco Abbruzzino and the Venice Scoop, ciao tutti.